Attention passionate Washington Commanders fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Washington Commanders' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Washington Commanders fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with YOUR, FRINDS, and Washington Commanders FANS. Let's get to the news. So, here's the scoop that's been making the rounds in NFL circles and whispers. There's a real buzz about a potential blockbuster trade involving Lane Johnson, the veteran offensive tackle from the Philadelphia Eagles, that could seriously shake up the NFC East and reshape the Commanders' future. Now I know what some of you might be thinking. Trade rumors are common, right? But this one has some serious layers, and if it goes down, it could be a game-changer for Washington. Let's get into the details. First off, the Eagles, despite having a pretty solid record of 10-5, are reportedly considering trading Lane Johnson. The main reason? Their salary cap situation, which currently stands at around $11 million. They're facing some tough choices, especially since they want to focus on extending Jalen Hurts and bolstering their receiver core. Getting rid of Johnson, a cornerstone of their offensive line, would free up a significant chunk of cap space, around $15 million, which they could then redirect to other areas. But the question is, why would they trade such a key player? Well, the whispers suggest that Philly might be looking to build for the future with younger, cheaper offensive linemen and extend Hurts' contract without the cap constraints. Johnson, drafted back in 2013, has been a pillar of consistency. Over his career, he's played 168 games and rarely missed a beat. In fact, he allowed 0 sacks in the 2022 season, a remarkable feat for a top-tier OT, earning a PFF grade of 89.5 on average. His performance isn't just about durability, it's about excellence. In 2022, he was at his peak, and even in 2025, with 10 games played, he maintained a high level of play, allowing just 3 penalties, with a PFF grade of 85.9, ranking him among the top tackles. His ability to keep the quarterback safe is proven. He's allowed no sacks in recent seasons, and his pressure rate remains low. His yards per open hole, around 5.1, adds to his value, especially when considering the Eagles' run-blocking schemes that have produced solid yardage. Now, here's where it gets interesting for Washington fans. If Johnson moves to the Commanders, he'd instantly upgrade our offensive line, which has struggled with injuries and inconsistency this season. The Commanders' offensive line has faced its fair share of issues. Injuries to Cosme and Niang have left the unit shuffling and vulnerable. Adding a veteran like Johnson could be the stabilizing force we need. His presence would help reduce sacks significantly, projecting a drop from 45 to around 28 sacks allowed, giving our quarterback more time to make plays and opening lanes for the rushing game. This upgrade in pass protection would be a huge boost for Sam Howell, who's shown flashes of potential, but needs more time and stability to really develop. And speaking of rushing, Johnson's addition could also help elevate our ground game. Last season, the Commanders averaged around 400 rushing yards, but with Johnson anchoring the line, projections suggest we could push that closer to 700 yards. His ability to create open running lanes, plus his experience and leadership, could turn our rushing attack into a more consistent, balanced threat. Remember, Johnson's prime years from 2017 to 2019 saw him elevate the Eagles' rushing game by over 150 yards, and bringing that same kind of impact to Washington would be a huge boon. What makes this trade even more appealing is how it could impact our playoff chances, especially with the Super Bowl LX odds improving significantly if we can build a dominant offensive line. Right now, the Commanders are sitting at plus 15-0 odds to win it all. But if a trade like this goes through and Johnson becomes a cornerstone of our line, those odds could tighten dramatically to around plus 6-0. That's a substantial leap, and it's not just about the odds. It's about the confidence boost this gives the entire team. A top-tier line means better protection, more time for Howell to make decisions, and a more potent rushing attack. All these factors could turn Washington into a real contender, and by extension, threaten the division rivals even more. Now, let's talk about the Eagles' side of things. They're in a tricky spot with their offensive line being one of the best statistically, allowing just 19 3 points per game. but with a cap hit of around $11 million, they need to make some tough choices. They're looking at gaps that need filling, specifically at wide receiver and linebacker. So trading Johnson makes strategic sense if they're aiming for a youth movement, especially if they believe they can replace Johnson with a younger player who will cost less and develop over time. The trade could also serve as a signal that Philly is prioritizing their long-term rebuild, especially with the looming need to extend Hurts and bring in fresh talent. As for Washington, this move could be the catalyst for a true rebuild in the trenches. The current offensive line has been shaky at times, with injuries and inconsistent performances. Adding Johnson would not only bring stability, but also set a tone of toughness and experience that could reverberate through the entire team. Imagine a front five anchored by Johnson, providing the kind of protection that allows Howell to flourish and the rushing game to thrive. This kind of upgrade could flip the script on our season, turning a team that has been struggling to get over the hump into a legitimate playoff contender. Furthermore, this trade, if it comes to fruition, would send a clear message across the league that the Commanders are serious about rebuilding the offensive line and competing at a higher level. It would also send a message to the division that we're not just here to compete, we're here to dominate. The NFC East is already stacked with talent, but a dominant offensive line can be a difference maker in close games and playoff battles. It's the kind of move that elevates not just the starting lineup, but the entire team mentality. Looking ahead, the potential impact of this trade extends beyond just the immediate season. It's about setting a foundation for sustained success. Johnson's experience and leadership would serve as a mentor for our younger linemen, helping them grow and learn how to perform under pressure. His presence could also influence our draft strategy, allowing us to focus on other areas, knowing we have a proven veteran anchoring the line. It's a strategic move that could pay dividends for years to come. Of course, there are skeptics. The Eagles might hold on to Johnson, believing in their current roster or fearing the impact of losing a leader on the line. And the Commanders need to weigh the cost. What draft capital are they willing to give up? Will they be able to sign Johnson long-term, or is this just a short-term fix? But for now, the buzz is real, and the possibility of Johnson in a Commander's uniform is exciting. It's the kind of bold move that could finally turn our offensive line into one of the league's best, making us a more complete, dangerous team. So in summary, this potential trade could be the spark that ignites Washington's push towards sustained success. It's about upgrading the trenches, improving protection, boosting the ground game, and sending a clear message that we're serious about contending. If the Commanders manage to land Lane Johnson, it won't just be a win for the team. It could be a turning point in our franchise history. The NFC East might never be the same, and Washington could be on the path to reclaiming our place among the league's elite. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Washington Commanders news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Washington fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this potential blockbuster? Do you believe Lane Johnson would be the perfect piece to elevate our offensive line and push us closer to the Super Bowl? Or do you think it's too risky or maybe too costly? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Washington Commanders. This is the kind of move that could define our future, and your voice is a vital part of that conversation. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Washington Commanders news. Whether it's rumors, analysis, or game day insights, I'll be here to keep you in the loop. Thanks for riding with us, and let's keep that passion alive. Go Commanders!